After leaving the Bitterroot Mountains of Idaho, I headed downhill Highway 12 and into Washington State. The Umatilla Forest is just past the Alpoa summit about 35 miles west of Clarkston. Along with regular campsites and cabin rentals, there's also plenty of room for dispersed camping at no charge. I picked a nice spot under a dead ponderosa pine, just to freak out all those who warned me how dangerous it is to camp under trees. With the trailer up and a good signal, I had the urge to stretch my legs and wander through the forest. This part of Washington is quite arid, situated in the wooded slopes and grasslands of the Blue Mountains. But being a little dry doesn't mean desert, as the slopes are bursting with all the full spectrum of colors you'd expect on a late September day. And the mature fruit of the wild rose glowed in the late day sun. As I always expect, weather can change in a flash, and the winds suddenly swept in. Learning from my Helena experience, I decided to try another way of securing my roof until I could get those latches replaced. I'd picked up a couple of ratchet straps to reinforce the weak spot in my back roof. Yes, another Band-Aid solution for an old trailer. How about a cheap and easy solution for lunch? Boil some water, throw in some instant noodles, and a ripe avocado. Well, it's a pretty miserable day today. Cold, windy, rainy. A good day to stay indoors and have some avocado soup. With noodles. The next day was better, and I remember those rose hips I'd seen on my last walk. Although I typically don't forage much, when there's plenty and no takers, then it's okay to help yourself. Now, I'm not big into the health benefits of medicinal herbs of the forest, but I do know that rose hips do contain antioxidants and vitamin C and can soothe a sore or raspy throat. Just watch out for the thorns as you pick them. I picked more than I needed, so now I can be a bit more selective. There are many ways of making rosehip tea, most of which involve drying and crushing them to remove the seeds. However, you can also use fresh rosehips as well. Just chop off the ends and the stems, and slice them into smaller bits. The seeds are not toxic like crab apples may be. However, they also don't add anything to the taste, so try not to chop the seeds. Unfortunately, I only had a tea ball with me, and it was a challenge to pack them all in. A more practical way is simply to use a strainer later on. Pour boiling water into the cup and let it seep for a few minutes. The aroma is astounding, and it has a taste like mild apple cider. Oh, that's nice. Vitamin C. Warms you up on a cool day. Warm herbal tea is good for your soul, and the opening of the sky at sunset was good for the stars. It was rare this trip to see such a crisp night sky, and the constellations shone brightly above the hills of the forest. Well, that's the first cold one for a while. Did make it to 0, so just at freezing. Time to warm up with a cup of coffee. And once I cleaned the steam off the window, I found another surprise. The snow's arrived. It always seems to come a little too soon. Time to pack up and move a little farther west. If I was smart, I would have put a tarp over the back of the roof. That way I wouldn't have to brush the snow off. Wish I didn't have to take my mitts off to fasten the latches. I usually like the leave no trace philosophy, but these 2 rectangles will be gone soon. Upon returning to the grassland, the snow turned to rain. Driving west on Interstate 84 took me to the Oregon side of the Columbia River. And right by the little city of Rufus is a gravel flat that allows for free camping right by the shore. Looking towards the Washington side of the shore, you can see the Columbia River Gorge from the campsite. This is a major hub for many types of transportation, including trucks, trains, and barges. Just upriver is the John Day Dam. From the north shore by Mary Hill, you get a view of the fruit orchards, as well as one very unusual feature. Well, this might cause you to blink your eyes and look again, but yes, you did see Stonehenge. Or at least a full-size replica. Well, I'm sure some would ask, who in Sam Hill would put a replica of Stonehenge on the Columbia River in Washington State? And the answer is Sam Hill. There's a plaque by the entrance to explain the mystery of this Stonehenge. It was built by one Samuel Hill, and not the swearing Samuel Hill. This one was a Quaker pacifist who had extensively visited England from 1914 to 1918. He went to the real Stonehenge on the Salisbury Plain and was told it had been used for human sacrifices to pagan gods. He saw a similarity of the pagan ritual of sacrifice to the sacrifices in the name of war and came up with an inspiration. It was a memorial to the lives lost in World War I. It was also a dedication to the local Klickitat soldiers and sailors who bravely gave their lives in the pursuit of peace. Although most historians today believe that Stonehenge was more a celestial observatory than a place of human sacrifice, this Stonehenge memorial is actually the first monument in the U.S. to honor the fallen of World War I. It took 11 years to build, with the final pillar in place on May 30th, 1929. But putting the human struggle aside, it's just a wonderful place to wander through the pillars and enjoy the scenic views of the gorge. So there's a little bit of history for you, but let me close with the natural wonders of the Umatilla Forest. I hope you enjoyed this video, and please check my other ones as well.